Welcome back. Welcome along. It's scoring the players' time now. Have we all had chance to calm down and just decompress after another shit performance? Shit result. 10 games now without a win. Anyway, I'm joined by Karl and Liam, who have had their therapy during the fan reaction show, which I'm sure you've all seen by now. Karl, let's start with Karl. Karl Darlow, what do you make of his performance tonight?
He's got to do better with that goal. He has to do better. I'm very surprised that he's made that particular mistake. I don't really know what he was doing. Me and Liam have had a chat, and it just seemed brainless. I don't know. He's just had I don't know what he's done. Like I said, he's just like he was doing the silly salmon, just trying to jump into him. It just made zero sense at all. He's not moved his arms. Whether he stupidly thought it was going to be a back pass or something like that, something's just not worked in his brain at that point. And I don't think he had a bad game, but because he's given that goal away for me. When I say I don't think he's had a bad game, I don't think he's been horrendous, but I'll give him a 4. Yeah,
you just got to come out and take his head and the ball, Watkins' head and the ball. It was bizarre. I don't think he looked that comfortable all game for me. As considering the guys in the form of his life, it was a quite below par performance, judging by his standards. I think.
Yeah, I think because we spoke about it a couple of weeks ago with Dubravka being back on the bench, and maybe that started to creep in a little bit. Maybe that little bit of pressure, and maybe he's not dealing with it very well. I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if Bruce slung him for that. To be honest, just because he's going to try and protect himself in every way possible, isn't he? So,
yeah. Right, Liam, Javier Manquillo returning to the side for ages now. How did you think he got on in the ever twining right back conundrum?
I think both fullbacks were a waste of time. I mean, I don't think Javier Manquillo actually did anything positive, so I think I'm going to give him a 1. Like, I honestly can't think of anything he'd done well.
We got forward quite a lot. Just defensively, he got done.
Well, like, you see he got forward, but what did he actually do going forward? Like, did he like, we're saying, like, oh, yeah, players get forward, but so fucking what? Do you know what I mean? Like, unless they're doing something about it, like, I could get forward, and if I don't do anything about it, then there's no point in me going forward.
You're genuinely giving him a 1?
Yeah.
Bit harsh.
But how is it harsh? It's 10 games where we haven't scored. I haven't got the suit of the day. It's in the wash. But like it's like 10 games where we've been pathetic as well.
On it before we come on.
But it's just like, how can we not be scoring players poorly? This is like, how long are we going to be like saying, oh yeah, he played all right, do you know what I mean? But like, it shouldn't be. People should be proud to wear that shirt, like, and it's just embarrassing. Like, so realistically, that's going to be every score I'm going to give a player as a 1.
Okay, I'll look forward to giving you Miguel Almiron later. Couple of people are going with 3s and 4s in the comments. I think that's a bit more realistic, personally. But it was Liam's rating, so we move on. I'm going to give myself Isaac Hayden, who was centre-back today. Odd. When you look at that lineup, you think, okay, he's gone 4-4-2. Hayden and Shelvey in the middle, and Hendrick's going to float around on the right again aimlessly, as he always does. But we'll come on to Hendrick and how he floated around aimlessly in the centre circle for most of the game. But Hayden, I thought, was probably our best player today, which doesn't say much. I thought he was okay at right back as well. You know, when Bruce made the change, which was obviously way too late after 70-odd minutes. He got forward quite a bit and put some crosses in. Problem was Carroll had gone off by then, so there's no one to get on the end of the crosses. But I'm giving Hayden a 5. everyone played poor today. Let's not get away from that. In a system that, well, it was a new one, but it wasn't a great performance by any stretch of the imagination. He's played in two positions, both not his position, but he did okay, nothing more. Bang average. Karl, Jamaal Lascelles looked knackered to me by the end.
I'd give him 3.5. Do we do 0.5s anymore?
Yeah.
I don't think he was overly bad, but he's completely off the pace. He's still he looks like he's getting fitter, but he's still off the pace for me. He just lacked a bit of purpose as well. A lot of them did. I didn't see much. I didn't see the leadership from him that we're used to seeing either. It's just the whole thing's toxic at the moment, and nothing more than a 3.5 for me. I want him shouting and bawling at everyone and driving the morale up in the squad, not just being so placid and letting things happen the way they are. And it's starting to really piss me off. And don't get me wrong, I'm not putting that on him solely. It's just the culture that seems to have come about the dressing room now.
Liam, do you think he's fully fit? Because he still looks like he's struggling after his bout of COVID.
No. But that's just typical Bruce, playing an unfit centre-back and a centre-mid as a centre-back in a back three. I just don't understand the bloke's logic. But speaking of Lascelles, no, I don't think he's fit, personally.
No, he's done the same with Dummett as well, who's now out injured again. No Fernandes, no Clark. Yeah, a real mess. Liam, stick with you for Fabian Schar. I'll be amazed if he's still here in the summer.
Yeah, with Fabian Schar, it's a bit of a weird one because last season and the season beforehand under Rafa, the first season we came, whatever, Rafa's last season, and then this season just gone, he was scoring goals. I'm not saying his performance last season was well, but he just looks like the shell of a player. He looks like the player he just doesn't want to play for anymore. And I'm not saying it's his fault, but would you want to play for that team? Would you want to go out there every week and play that shit? And I think it all comes down to one bloke. And Shaw has been shocking. Obviously, he was at fault for the first goal, like him and Darlow. So I'm going to give him a 2.
I thought you said you're giving everyone a 1 tonight. You've already gone back.
I was thinking about it, but then I feel like I'm going to get ripped in the comments if I give everyone a 1. So
when did you care? You turn up every week in a bastard dressing gown.
Yeah, it's my girlfriend's this time because mine's dirty. So, but I just think something needs to change, and that's it really.
With Schar, Karl, I said to you in the watch along that his attitude at the moment reminds me of Daryl Janmaat's when he knows he wants to move at the end of the season. Do you think his heart's in it?
No, definitely not, mate. There was all that banter, wasn't there? People sending in those photos of him apparently being out for dinner and stuff when he should have been at the games. And I don't doubt that was untrue, but that's the sort of mentality that I feel that he's got. Yeah, I already think he's got 1 foot out the door, mate. Definitely.
Yeah, I'm going to give myself Jamal Lewis. I was chuffed when we signed Jamal Lewis. I thought that was a really shrewd piece of business. Liverpool wanted him. Real potential. We haven't seen it at all, and he just looks more uncomfortable every game. Tried to get forward more. Yeah. Tried to get forward more tonight. Got a couple of crosses in. Were they great? No. Defensively, we always struggle with the width of our team because of the way the midfield's set up. But we're just not seeing the best of this lad who does have potential. Lewis ain't the only one that we're not seeing the best of. Like, remember when Lascelles should have been an England international. Remember when Schar was the best thing since Philippe Albert. Remember when Longstaff was worth 50 million going to Man United. The list goes on. But, Jamal Lewis, scoring-wise, I think I'm going to give him a 2. A 2 for me. Liam, I know how much you love Lewis. Do you agree, disagree?
I do agree. Obviously, if people didn't know, I'm not Lewis's biggest fan, but I think that's just because he hasn't performed. And I think, like I said before, I think it's due to one man, really. But yeah, Lewis, you've got to feel sorry for the players that came in the summer because they've came into a squad that the thought we'll get 10th or round about there. But we can't even do that. Like, we can't even pass a ball like 5 yards without losing it. It's like, where's the basics? When you're in a losing streak, they say go back to basics. Just like, right. So all I want you to do is pass the ball from the left back to left winger, and then that's you done. But we can't even do that anymore. Like, and it seems like every time Lewis steps on that pitch, he passes the ball backwards. That's all he does. He just pass it backwards, pass it backwards, pass it backwards. And like, I feel sorry for the kid because he probably could be a good footballer, but like under this thing, he's just shit.
Jamal Lewis's biggest fan there. Carl, Jeff Hendrick, thoughts?
Get him out of the fucking club. Get him out of the club. Like I've said this before, I didn't mind the sign and I was relatively happy with it in terms of what he was going to bring in terms of battling and being a squad player, not expecting him to start as many games as he is and playing him out on the right or, all the time. And he's anonymous. Like I don't even see him on the pitch anymore. Like half the time I don't even like the only reason I know he's playing is because I know Steve Bruce is going to start him. Other than that, I don't see him. And again, like, yes, he's not technically the best footballer, but he is another product of shit tactics. Like he can do a job. He can do a job for a side, and he's still not being able to do that for us because for me, he's been played out of position. Personally, I'd rather have him. Like I genuinely think him and Hayden as a 2 defensive midfield role would work really well. I think that would help you because I think it was yourself, Liam, that said we've stopped defending as a team. We've forgotten how to defend, and I think having those 2 playing that sort of position would help shore that sort of thing up. If you dead set on playing him, play him in a defensive midfield role. Don't play him as a winger because that's not what he is. Like he can break the ball up well, and when he's got time, if he's got time on the ball from Hayden, he'll be able to pick out a decent pass. But other than that, mate, we know we're not going to see it, and he's just been shite. So a 2 for me.
A generous 2.
Yeah, it is generous, isn't it?
The thing is, as well, I think the only meaningful thing he did tonight was almost put Karl Darlow in the shit when they charged down and Darlow had to hurriedly clear. I just don't understand what he's bringing. The centre of midfield is a mess. We said we needed someone with a creative mind in that centre of midfield. So why sign Hendrick?
Yeah, no, I agree.
I was with you. Solid squad player signing, free transfer, great, whatever, fine. But the amount of games he's been playing and the amount of what does he bring that Henry Saive doesn't?
No, you're right, 100%. Yeah, but you are right. You're absolutely
one
right.
more goal than Saive.
Yeah,
played more games, hasn't he?
Are you defending Hendrick, Liam?
I'm not defending him, but like I said previously, I do honestly feel sorry for the players now because I think they want to play a style of football, or not even a style of football. I think they just want to play football and they can't do it. Like if you were Callum Wilson, what was it? We bought him for 20 million, and like he's coming up here thinking, right, this is going to be my chance to get in the England squad, to get in the Euros, to play for my country. Like I'm not bothered if people use us to piss off somewhere else, but like he's got to be thinking like, fucking hell, like what am I doing here? Yeah,
100%. Like when he's had the opportunity to go to Villa over us as well. And, at the time, it wasn't, I don't think anyone would argue that he made the right decision coming to us after what we saw last season. But he must be sick of his life.
Yeah.
Must be sick of his life.
We'll come back to Callum Wilson. But for now, Liam, your favourite player, Miguel Almiron.
So I've got a bit of a surprise. So I actually got a T-shirt made with Miggy runs a lot.
Oh, you're a legend.
And I even got the
you're very on brand. Well done, sir.
Yeah,
good lad.
But people don't know what in the WhatsApp that we've got between the lads. People always say Miggy runs a lot, and he does run a lot. Do you know what I mean? He's another one I feel sorry for. Yeah. I think he puts the effort in, but I feel like he puts the effort in the wrong place. He's always going backwards, and he should be going forwards. Really, if we're going to play Miggy, we may as well just play him as a wing back or a full back, because that's all he seems to do is be covering the defenders. Two, because he's done next and out. I think he's the only player that will work his socks off, and obviously he doesn't want to be here because he's obviously his agent wanted him to go to Inter Milan or AC Milan, whichever one it was. And I could actually see him in a decent team performing well, but he just hasn't got it. He hasn't got the product. He hasn't got the manager that knows how to play a team.
Would it not help if we played Almiron in his correct position?
No, it wouldn't make a fucking difference, because Bruce is shit. Like, and it's all to do with Bruce. Like, with the total players here who are professional footballers that can't pass a ball 5 yards.
What has happened to that young, happy lad that was, regardless of whether he did the wrong things in the final third, but was eager to just run at defenders? Where's that gone? Like, the only reason he can't be doing that is because he's been told not to, surely.
The whole thing just looks a mess. We just don't look like we know how to attack or formulate an attack.
Yeah.
Which brings me on to Jonjo Shelvey. Played further up the pitch for the first 10-15 minutes today, in a kind of box-to-box role, which I found odd because he doesn't have the energy nor desire for that role. Jonjo likes to sit in front of the back four, spraying passes around. He would have been more comfortable playing where Jeff Hendrick was, and then you can have one of the long staffs in there for the energy, the box-to-box energy. He did it for about 20 minutes, put one good cross in from a corner, which Lascelles got on the end of, but Mings got in the way because I think it was just going in the far corner. But apart from that, Jonjo was terrible for me. 1.5, really poor, in a real rut of form. Terrible performances. And I don't know how, if he's playing that bad, he shouldn't be in the team. Simple as that. When you've got Matty on the bench. I know Matty was poor against Arsenal, but Shelvey's had a few more worse performances than Matty's one poor performance. He's never going to track back when he's caught upfield. It's just a real. I mean, again, he's another one. Remember this time last year, where another one where England squad perhaps.
Yeah, 100%. I've been
he's a long way away from that now, because this time last season he was our top league goal scorer and an absolute talisman in the midfield. We know he's got that in his locker to kind of disappear for games and have a bit of a sore attitude every now and again, but defensively woeful. Not closing Villa down, giving their midfield and their attack so much time and space. He's an embarrassment.
I've just seen Johnny put it in the comments. James said exactly the same thing in the fan reaction, that he felt Shelvey was at fault for the second goal because he was just caught ball watching. And 15-year-old James saw that. And do you know what I mean? And Steve Bruce can't see these fucking things.
What happened to the second goal again? I can't remember.
Were you busy watching Netflix again?
Maybe.
Yeah, he was, wasn't Superstars.
No, the second goal was Traore, wasn't it? Comes to him at the edge of the box, hits
off
the
the
bar
bar.
and goes in.
Oh,
Nice
yes.
finish. But the defending for both of the goals was pretty appalling. And yes, I would agree with Johnny. I would partial some of the blame onto Shelvey for that second goal, but his performance in general today was an embarrassment. Absolute embarrassment. Karl, Andy Carroll.
What did I have for this one? I'd give him a 4. I think. I thought he put himself obviously nowhere near what we got from the Arsenal performance, but I thought he was putting himself about in the air. Did what he could in terms of shit service, to be honest. But I don't really think he did anything wrong. Do you know what I mean? Not to the point where he's made mistakes, and I'd give him a 1 or a 2. It was okay for in context of what we had today. Yeah. Other than that, nothing going forward. So yeah, 4.
I find it baffling that Bruce makes the changes he does to bring on crosses. This is the second game in a row he's done this, where he's started Carroll, not got anyone on the pitch that can really cross from out wide. Tried it a bit more today, granted, with Lewis and Manquillo getting a bit further forward to put crosses in, but there wasn't a lot of quality there. And then brings on Fraser and ASM and then takes Carroll off. I find that a bit odd.
No words can describe this man's decisions at all. I just don't know what to say anymore. I'm not even dejected now. I'm just confused. I'm not angry. I don't have any energy to be that. I'm just confused. And I've said this before. I don't think it's pride anymore. I just think it's pure arrogance in thinking that he's better than he actually is, Steve Bruce. I really do think it's arrogance. And I think, again, people said because of the people that he's got around him, a lot of these pundits, the so-called old guard from football, are still telling him that he's doing a good job and it's the player's fault. And he buys into it. It's like Simon Jordan talking utter bollocks all the time, but we know he's on the phone to Steve Bruce every other week because he tells everyone he is. Telling him that the players are shit and it's their fault, and he's getting unfair criticism left, right, and centre. But it's got nothing to do with Steve Bruce's tactics. How dare anyone question Steve Bruce's fucking knowledge of football? It's bollocks, mate. Bollocks.
We're getting to the manager. Don't get me wrong. Liam, Callum Wilson huffed and puffed, but didn't get a chance all night, did he?
I think because Carl gave Carroll a 4, I've got to go Wilson a 4. I've been saying this for a while. Callum Wilson's been shit, and I said it in the fan reaction that I was gonna put a post on, and I put it in the WhatsApp group. Should I put this? And you were all kind of say, no, don't do it because you'll get absolutely made out in the comments. But he's been piss poor for a good run of games now, and he's only got 8 goals because 4 of them are penalties. And obviously, I know he's not getting the service, and he's not getting the chances to actually score and do what he needs to do. But he may as well have played with no forwards a day and just sat 8 men behind the ball.
What can Wilson do then?
Nothing. Wilson can't do anything because at the end of the day, he needs to be in the box, getting crosses or passes or something in. Because there's no point of having Wilson in that team unless you're going to do something. We may as well play Joe Linton by himself up top again.
But does he not just need a bit more support from midfield, especially in the centre?
He needs support. Like everyone needs support. We're saying Joe Linton needs support last season because look at the ball up to him. And but at one point, I don't know if with Villa playing 5 at the back.
No, 4.
With 4. At one point, there was 3 players around Wilson in this 18-yard box, and we're crossing balls in. And I was thinking, what's the fucking point? Do you know what I mean? It's just going to come back away, and he's not going to get a free player. So I think everyone just needs to book their ideas up and either piss off or just stop playing for it.
Yeah. Yeah. it's been the same. But when you can't create an attack from one end of pitch to the other, then again, I still do feel a bit of sympathy for Callum Wilson.
Yeah. My stream was a bit behind, so I got the text through off the Twitter notifications, and once I seen they scored, I was like, well, that's us lost.
Yeah, it is like that at the moment, though, isn't it? Once you go 1-0 down, then that's it. It is all over. Substitutions were made again way too late, but when they were made on 70 minutes, we had a double change consisting of Ryan Fraser and the return of ASM. Carl, I'll give you Ryan.
Just see that comment.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why I got rid of it very, very quickly. Carl, I'll give you Ryan Fraser.
How long was he on for?
20 minutes.
Oh, fucking hell. Well,
I thought he looked reasonably sharp when he came on,
Yeah,
but again, the game had gone because the changes came too late. But
I'm just trying to think of a score first, like in comparison to what I've scored. He didn't offer anything, more, if that makes sense. Because, like you said, the game had already gone. So this might seem, but I don't know how to score him. A 4? Yeah, 4.
That's what you're going with. Signed till delivered. Yeah, I thought fair enough. He didn't change the game in any real capacity, did he? But it was nice to see him back on. And Steve Bruce said after the game that he was encouraged to see Ryan Fraser and Alan Saint-Maximin on the pitch together. I mean, I don't think anyone told him that he could have done it sooner than the 70th minute. Who knows? It might have worked out better, but he did okay on the right, didn't he?
Yeah. Are we talking about Maximan now?
No, Ryan Fraser.
He's talking about Fraser. I was going to say, he did, like I say, for me, he didn't really do anything wrong. I think he might have had one chance, or I think did Miggy slip him a pass?
I think he did.
But it wasn't like it. It was not like a glaring effort on goal. But I'm happy to see him in the side. Definitely, I want him to be fit, and I wanted him to be gradually put in the side rather than expecting him to play 80-90 minutes like he did the other week and then end up getting sent off. So I absolutely want to see them both on the pitch together 100%. But I want him to do it properly and not end up having them both injured again.
Yeah, he needs to start with Sean highlights though. Do you know what I mean?
Say that again.
He needs to start with Sean highlights in his hair, but apart from that, both of you need to start with Sean haircut. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
Liam, ASM, the return of ASM, the long-awaited return of ASM. How do you think he did?
Same as Fraser. Pointless. It was a pointless substitution at 20 minutes. I honestly thought Bruce would have made a change at half-time. Well, I don't say honestly thought. I was hoping that he was going to change it at half-time, bring players on that with a bit of effort, and I can actually run at players. And I just feel like, what's the point of bringing 2 attacking players on with 20 minutes to go and then take the person that can actually get on the end of a ball, like a cross, take him off? And it was good seeing him back because I feel like he's gonna drag us to stay in the Premier League. It's if Maxim gets injured anymore, where we are totally fucked. Like there's no shadow of a doubt that Maximin is our best player, but he needs to do it every game. And I don't think he can do it every game because we're just shit. It's so boring to watch.
It is, and seeing as Dwight Gale gets a non-applicable because he wasn't on for long enough.
How long was he on, Sam?
Just under 10 minutes, Dwight Gale.
What was the point?
Yeah.
The manager, the head coach, whatever he is, Steve Bruce. A random formation from the Penguin Book of football formations. 5 at the back still. Or was it 3 at the back? 3-5-2, 5-3-2, whatever you want to call it. Either way, it didn't work. Still horribly exposed down the wings. Still horribly ill-equipped to find an attacking threat. despite attacking players on the pitch. I find it really disturbing the way he goes about his post-match interviews. Really disturbing. How can you say, if we were to play four at the back and try and play expansive attacking football, that we would just be horrendous and not good enough and we'd be in trouble? We're in trouble. We can't defend. And we've got Miguel Almiron, Alan Saint-Maximin, Ryan Fraser, Callum Wilson. Are they not attacking flair players? Are they defensively minded attacking players? No. Let the handbrake off. This has been going on for far too long. I mean, he's going through the formation book and he still can't find 4-2-3-1 for the life of him. And it's so blatant. It's pathetic. It's embarrassing. He's got us on cruise control to the Championship. He just has. Look how Villa have progressed since getting rid of him. And it always comes back to now something Adam said in a watch-along months ago. You don't realise how bad Steve Bruce is until he's managing your club. Because I was the same when he was at Villa. Because obviously my missus is Villa, so I've limited knowledge of Villa, outside of Newcastle. So when he was at Villa, I'd be like, "Oh, he'll get you out. He'll get you out of the Champions. He'll get you up. He's, Bruce, solid. He's all right, isn't he?" But he did the same there. He's absolutely dreadful. The players are regressing so dangerously. I mean, we've got a good squad. He bought well in the summer. And now it's just turning into a river of absolute shit. It's scary. It's embarrassing. And he doesn't know his best team. And he's been here 18 months. I mean, for me, he's getting a 0. I don't know about you two. Start with you, Carl.
Yeah, 100% a 0. Like, for me, I've worked in sales for a long time and coached people in sales. Now, if these people aren't performing, the book gets led with them initially. But then as time goes on, then it's with me. If these people aren't performing, it's me that I'm the one that the shit goes to. Like, not the people straight away. It comes to me first. What am I doing wrong? Why aren't these people performing? And at some point, he's got to be realistic with himself and just say that he can't do this anymore. His management style or the way he coaches footballers isn't the way that football is played anymore. He's not fit for purpose. He can't manage a football team anymore. And regardless of what he says, it's irrelevant. It really isn't. And the shit that's coming out with his mouth, look, I keep saying it now. I'm not, like, people can have their opinions. It's arrogance. He's just arrogant as fuck. That's what it is. And I know people have said he might be a very nice bloke. I'm sure he probably is.
He's lovely.
Yeah. But at some point, you have to have a look at yourself. And it's not pride. It's arrogance. It's arrogance. Like, he thinks he's better than he is. And he thinks he can do this job. And people say that, I've heard people say tonight, well, he never shirks away from a challenge. It's because no one fucking wants him. No one in their right mind that's looking to progress wants Steve Bruce as manager. He's there to try and avoid relegation. He's not good enough to do that anymore. Like, we will go down if he's still in charge. And it's just, bad decision after bad decision. And once you start blaming the players, we already thought he'd lost the dressing room weeks ago, but he 100% has now. I think what Adam and Lee said about there was a clip towards the end of the game where the players just looked like so dejected and they just weren't bothered anymore. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. So you can't get that back. He's not going to be able to get that back regardless. Like, if we stick with him, we're fucked. The only way it's going to be turned around is if you get fresh faces in, because he cannot fix it now. Nobody will believe in anything he says. So that's my take, mate.
Liam?
Well, he's performing well at takeover of the Championship.
I mean, the one good thing is, I mean, Ashley might not get his 305 million for the club in the Championship, but the AFL will just wave on any old fucker to take over your club there. So takeover will go through. But it won't be the Saudis, but I'm sure We can all chip in.
The thing with me is like he says his goal is to stay in the Premier League, right? But I don't know, like Carl, I don't know what you're like your sales. You just don't want to reach your goal. You want to like exceed it.
Yeah.
You want to be like showing
Absolutely.
people like he should have some ambition. Be like, right, and I've got the squad, and I've got the players. I've got the haven't got the budget, whatever. I want to be progressing this team ever so slightly. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying we're going to be jumping straight to Champions League, but like obviously we were 10th last season or 11th or 12th, something like that. Well, we'll get 9th this season. But like he seems to be happy. Well, we're fucking 15th. Do you know what I mean? That's my job done and dusted. It's just like how you man just show some fucking passion. And it's just I'm so bored of talking about the same thing. We'll come on this show every week. And we're talking in the WhatsApp group and posting it on Facebook and the social medias and that, and it's just the same shit hour and over again. It's like I don't know if you've noticed, but every game, every couple of weeks, I post the fixture lists that were played, and nearly every single one of them says embarrassing next to them. It's like how many more embarrassing performances can we get? Even when we win, we're shit. We're so lucky this season; it's fucking unreal.
Yeah. I'm not even angry anymore. I'm just tired.
Yeah.
I'm drained. He needs to go as soon as possible. I want Ben Dawson, caretaker manager, on Tuesday against Leeds, and I want a new manager in for Everton. I mean, let's just please don't leave it as late as McLaren when it was obviously too late. I mean,
do you know why he won't walk? It's because he won't get his pay packet.
Exactly, I know. And Ashley doesn't want to pay 1.5 million or whatever, but it's going to cost him a hell of a lot more than that if we get relegated for a third time.
I agree, and this is what I don't understand. I don't understand about it. My cash is meant to be an astute businessman, and he clearly is when it comes to retail. Like, and if he wants to treat this like a retail operation rather than a football club, and look at it, he needs to look at it that way, because if you do, I'd rather pay 1.5 million than lose out on 300 million, not from the takeover, but from whatever the parachute payments are after that. Do you know what I mean? Like, it makes no sense to me at all. Like, financially, he's better to pay Steve Bruce off. It makes no sense to me at all.
Yeah. The thing is, he was talking with Steve Agnew after like an hour on the side. The camera cut to him. And he just looked like a dog that was being waiting to take round the back of the shed to be shot. He just wants putting out of his misery. It's just absolutely ridiculous, because the change should have already been made by then, and he's just still fucking around on the sidelines, not knowing what to do. That's all we've got time for on Scoring the Players. Steve Bruce gets a 0. Let us know your ratings in the comments, and Lee is up in a minute with the last word, our last video of the evening. We will obviously be back for the preview for Leeds, and then we'll do it all over again. Hopefully, well, who knows what will happen on Tuesday. Fingers crossed, eh? My thanks to Karl and Liam, who have had a long old slog after the fan reaction show as well. But thank you all very much for watching, and stay tuned to Newcastle.